Morning. Morning, Stephanie.
Morning.
Did you sleep all right?
Mm.
It was a pretty shocking night with the wind, wasn't it?
I didn't notice, really.
Oh, God, of course you didn't. I mean, you knocked... It doesn't matter if the apocalypse is going on. Stephen will sleep through it. It's absolutely fine.
Well, what can I say?
Nothing. Just sell yourself to science, because I think a lot of people would want that. And get us the money for it while you're in the process. And before we get going this morning, this is today's strange concoction of a breakfast. And now, I know it doesn't look that appealing, but I think you've seen me film these before. It's a savoury porridge. So I quite like porridge of a morning, not every morning, but some mornings. And I don't always like the sweet version. I don't always fancy that in the morning. So I started making my own savoury versions, and it usually is just what's left in the fridge. So in this case, it was a stick of celery chopped up and cooked down, 1 tomato chopped up. We've got some spinach in there, a little bit of leftover fresh coriander, obviously the porridge oats and some water, and then that's just flavoured with a little bit of salt, pepper and some lemon juice. And you know what? I know it doesn't look that good, but I actually really, really love it. I'd say maybe it looks a little bit more appealing from this angle, but it doesn't really, does it? Anyway, it's not what it looks like, it's what it tastes like, which is kind of exactly as I described. Stephen's having the traditional version, the proper version as we call it. Yoghurt, milk, fruit, oats.
Couple of dates.
So, good morning. Say good morning, Steve.
Good morning, Steve.
Good morning, Steve. We're out and about again, and we are parked somewhere. Last night we stayed in a place called Culver Down, I think it is. It's on the east side of the island. Another high point, another park that's right next to the coast. Some really fantastic views. I think we said in one of the earlier videos that actually it's difficult to park on the Isle of Wight, but actually on balance, I don't think we've actually struggled really, have we?
Hard, no.
I mean, we've probably had more difficulty in the entire county of Norfolk, which of course is huge, than we have on the Isle of Wight. So we're parked just over there somewhere, and we're kind of on a headland here, so you can see all out to sea in so many directions. We're on the east side of the island, as I said, and you know what, this would have been a really nice spot to actually go for a circular walk or something, but we just haven't got time to do it all, have we, Stephen? That's the thing. You know, I don't know what we were expecting about the Isle of Wight, but there is actually so much to see here and so much to walk and explore. And there's also a lot of goats, by the way, a huge amount of goats on this island. So we're not going to explore Culver Down today, or this area. We're actually going to go somewhere entirely different. However, this has been a lovely little stopover, and the wind has died down now, so it's really, really peaceful. So maybe we can come back another time, because it feels like there's so many different places to see, and certainly in the summer this would be amazing. Although probably a lot more difficult driving around in the summer, I reckon, don't you? I bet the island gets flooded with tourists. We've kind of been spoiled here. It's a bit like when you go to Cornwall in winter. It's such a good time to go, because you get to go to all those beautiful places that are otherwise rammed, and obviously driving down those really thin roads. So I can imagine the Isle of Wight is similar. We were just reading a little plaque over there, and it was quite an important point in the World War II, and they had to defend, or they set up to defend in case there was an invasion. Everywhere you go in a van, you read something. Everywhere was affected by the war, like especially World War II. There's always something, isn't there? It doesn't matter what town or village we go to, there's always, even the smallest village usually has a memorial plaque to people that have died from that village. Every town you go to, it was either attacked or bombed, or sent people from there, or sent ships out. It's unthinkable, isn't it? It's just like we can't even imagine.
Sometimes it feels a lot closer than we've hoped.
Yeah, it does feel a lot closer than oh yeah, let's not think about that, Steve. So yeah, I didn't explain that very well, but this point on Culver Down, it was used during World War I and II, and one of the reasons is because it's just a good vantage point. It was used to gather intelligence, because I think there was a good signal. I don't know what you called it back then, like a radio signal, I guess. So because of that, it was a good place to gather intelligence. And of course, it was used to potentially defend the island against external threats, because of the vantage point, because of the fact it looks out to sea in several different directions. It was a really good place to be to defend the island, and therefore the UK as a whole. I'm not sure how much action it actually saw, but yeah, it just brings home the point that wherever we go, we see, it doesn't matter what obscure little part of the country you're in, the wars affected it, didn't it?
Aye.
It's sobering, really.
Aye. And on that cheerful note, let's move on, shall we?
Yes, let's go on. Let's go on. So we have arrived in the little village called Godshill, and I think the name Godshill comes from the fact that in the 7th century some stones were said to have moved themselves in the night on the site where a church was being built. They moved by themselves in the middle of the night uphill onto a site of pre-Christian worship, and therefore after that happened they decided to build the church there where the stones have moved themselves. Of course it does. I didn't even know we were on a hill, but then it's the Isle of Wight. It is hilly, so of course it probably is. So, Godshill is meant to be a very quintessentially beautiful English village. If you just imagine those kind of biscuit tin English villages that you see on actual biscuit tins, you know, chocolate box, all that kind of stuff. The Godshill is meant to look exactly like that. So let's go and have a look. Let's see if it lives up to its reputation as a beautiful village, Steve.
Let's be the judge of that.
Yeah, we'll be the judge of that. Stephen definitely will. Well, that didn't take long, did it, Stephen? Within seconds we've come into a little gaff, which, by the way, is really, really busy. We've got a pot of tea, need more milk in that. We like ours piss weak.
Aye.
So we've got a pot of tea each, and Stephen's got a breakfast, and I've got a jacket potato. We haven't even looked at anything yet. It's all food, and instantly come in to do that.
I know.
Never mind, eh? So I got a jacket potato with cheese and beans. Look at that. That is absolutely huge. It's got coleslaw with it and some salad. As if getting some lunch straight away wasn't enough. We saw the cakes. We were drawn in. We were unable to resist. Steve, what did you get?
I got a Madeleine.
You got a Madeleine, but like the proper Madeleines with all the coconut on and a little bit of jam, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Nice?
Yeah, right. Needs a bit more jam.
Whereas I got a slice of coffee cake. I absolutely love coffee cake. Very nice. It was about £3.95, I think, but it's quite a nice moist sponge, large piece as well. Lovely, lovely. I mean, what are we doing, Steve? We're just eating and spending money here. We need to get back on the fitness thing. This is all gone. Ever since I've been ill, that stopped. I haven't run for ages. Steve hasn't done anything for ages. And here we are, eating cake. Oh well, the sun's out.
I was on the cross trainer every day in Watford.
Yeah, but that was ages ago. We're out now. We haven't done anything.
Yeah, we'll walk a lot.
We have walked a fair bit, actually. To be fair, on the Isle of Wight, we've done a lot of walking. Oh, it's all justified then. To be fair, if you can't treat yourself to things like a bit of cake, why are we even here, you know? It needs to be done sometimes. Right, let's eat this and actually go and look at this bloody village, shall we?
We're going to have to go for a walk now.
We're going to have to walk it off, yeah. Look at the flipping state of me. This is punishment, this is, for eating coffee cake. All of this is coffee cake. It came out of the packet.
Never mind.
Somebody saying, no, you shouldn't be doing this.
Just think of the calories you saved.
What, from that?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm sure I'm light as a feather for missing those bits.
I'm sure you're not.
I'm sure I'm not. I'm heavier than you.
Come on then, let's get walking.
Yeah, we haven't seen anything yet. You know, look at the state of us walking around like this.
Never mind.
Oh well, we do live in a van after all.
Yeah.
It's appropriate, right?
Aye.
So, Godshill. There's not masses to it, is there, Steve?
No.
It's actually much smaller than we thought. We knew it was going to be small because it's a village, but there's only a few things to actually see that you would want to necessarily look at. We might be missing some things, okay, I don't know, but we had a walk just outside where some of the thatched cottages were, which were lovely to look at. I'm trying not to slip over on the mud here because we've come down a country track, and very quickly it kind of just descends into a normal kind of housing area, really, doesn't it? So we were just walking down the road and it was like, okay, well, there's not really anything to look at here. Let's go back. Lots of the places are closed up because of the time of year, which is why the cafe we were just in, where we got the jacket potato, Stephen got a breakfast, and the cake as well, was absolutely rammed. Because I think it was about the only thing open in the village. I think we both prefer Ventnor, don't we? So, lovely to visit, but your time will likely be brief.
Aye.
There are, however, a few walks around here, and we're only going on a little one now because we're actually going to get the ferry later on tonight. We've just done that. We're going to get the ferry off the island back to the mainland because we've got to get back and sort our brake part out. That's still going on. But we've had a nice little walk, so that's all right. As always, nice to see somewhere different, but we are van people. We live in a van. We've seen a lot, so, you know, our criteria for judgment tends to be quite high. Right, let's figure out where we're going. We're in a wood now, so we've come to...
muddy.
It is muddy.
I don't know if this is going to work.
Oh, well, it's all right. We can get around. Come on, Steve, get your adventure feet on. What is being in a van and going out if it's not traipsing through mud, which ends up in our home, aka our van? That's what van life is, right? Mess. I think van life is living in your van and bringing all the elements back into it. All the earthly elements, all the weather elements. That is van life. If your van's not caked in mud, sand, water from the rain, then you're not living in a van. Beware the snakes. I was going to ask that question actually. Do they have snakes on the Isle of Wight? Because often you find these little islands don't have certain things. Like Ireland itself doesn't have snakes, does it?
I've no idea.
I don't think it does, which is quite strange to me. You'd think a grass snake at least would have been brought over at some point. So yeah, beware adders. Of course not the time of year. Where we used to live in Dover, behind us, there were some hills. They were the other side of the White Cliffs, and quite an obscure part that nobody actually went on. Very few people anyway. And I used to walk up there so often on days off work in the sunshine. I'd take myself off for hours, and there were old fortifications up there, all kinds of things. And you would often see in the summer the adders out on the paths coming out to bathe. But as soon as they got a whiff of you, just any sound, they would whip out of the way. So you'd really have to be doing something to get bitten by an adder. You'd have to be seeking it out or accidentally standing on one, which, as I say, unless you're walking through long grass, you're not likely to do that on a clear path like this. Obviously, the main worry is dogs. Why are we getting onto adders? I don't know. Let's go. Steve, you're going the wrong way. I mean, this little walk wasn't even worth it, really. How we've come to these puddles of mud. Hold on tight, Steve. Leading us into danger again. Well, hardly danger, is it? This is the trouble with walking in the UK, though. Like, 9 to 10 months of the year, it looks like that.
I know.
I know we keep banging on about the weather. We are British, you know. We are allowed. It's our God-given right.
As is our want.
As is our want. You know, like living in a van, you become more aware of it. You're more in tune with it because it's more relevant to your day-to-day living. And I think because we have to spend so long in the UK because of our work, living in a van, it does in some ways for us maybe give it a bit of a shelf life. So Stephen was just saying, although it's starting finally gradually to warm up a bit now, we're finally seeing the start of spring, not that we've seen much evidence of it, you get to the point where the cold stops, like the extreme temperatures, well, extreme for the UK anyway, for England, but then it gets wetter. So you have a period in the UK where it's cold and it's a prolonged, long and grey, damp period. But then, of course, either side of it, the autumn and the spring, you get bucket loads of rain. And I think being in a van, it's kind of like, do we really want to do another winter, you know? Our job keeps us rooted to the UK. And of course, we've gone out. You've seen us do that. But we're here for so long. We can't always disappear for, say, 6 months of the year. Not unless we changed our jobs entirely. You know, whichever way we do it, if we can afford to go away for a couple of months in the colder months away to somewhere warm like we have done to Spain, it still leaves a huge chunk of winter where we're here. And if it's not winter, it's the wet weather. We're literally not moaning here, I promise you. It's not moaning, but it's kind of a case of how much longer do we want to do that in a van? Would having a better van, a bigger, better van, make that any different? And I think the answer's no, isn't it?
I think the problem that we'd have, like even if you had a bigger van and you had a diesel heater and some solar, in the winter you're still going to struggle to keep your batteries topped up.
Yeah.
You know, maybe I'm wrong about that, maybe there's much better batteries, but that's a lot of investment for us when we're nearly 4 years in.
Yeah.
You know,
it doesn't change the fact though that even when you've got all that stuff and you've got a more advanced van, you're still living closer to the elements. You still feel that cold. You're still out and about. You still got to find park ups. You're still kind of battling the darkness coming in early.
It's just horses for courses, really. Like no matter what you do in life, you've always got your positives and your drawbacks.
Yeah.
And the positives do outweigh the drawbacks of van life.
They do. They absolutely do. Yeah, let's dial this back. Van life is amazing. Living in a van is absolutely wonderful. Like look at what we've done, the adventures. It's so fulfilling, but it's just not forever for us. Maybe if we had all the time and money in the world and we had no commitments necessarily elsewhere, we could do that, because we could go anywhere for however long. But obviously for most people in life that's not how it works out. But it'd be interesting, because I know a lot of you guys have said, oh, don't settle down, get a better van. And you know, it's something we have considered, of course we have. And the fact so many of you are saying it, now obviously we're going to just do what we want to do, but I understand why a lot of you are saying that, and it does make us wonder. And of course we don't know, if we do settle down, if we'd be making a terrible mistake. How can anyone know that? No, you can't.
We don't know that our job's going to last more than two more years now.
No, our job will have a shelf life, even though it's been extended. Our current security job, which suits us down to the ground at the moment, it won't last forever.
No, that's a major factor in decision making.
Yeah, definitely.
We don't want to invest money into something for 2 years down the line to be forced off the road.
No, that is a good point, Stephen.
When we can just maybe come off of the road for a little while now, get something paid down, and then get back out on the road later on in life. Yeah,
it might be that we have to do van life in 2 different stages in our life, and they might be years apart. That's okay. We've been lucky to be able to do what we've done now. I do think it'd be interesting though, getting back to a new van idea topic, if we were to go through all the things, all the issues you might have of doing van life in the UK or doing full-time van life, as to whether having a bigger and better van that's more comfortable for us would actually solve that issue. If we went through every single thing, so for example, let's just say park ups, would that solve it? No, obviously that would be the same regardless. So there's lots of different things. Comfort for us, would a new van solve that? Yes, it would solve that to an extent. So we could go through all the different topics and weigh up whether having a new van would actually solve that issue, or whether it would make no difference whatsoever. I suspect it would be about 50-50, wouldn't it?
I think the biggest thing for us at the moment isn't necessarily the comfort or anything like that. It's just the simple fact that we want to do things. I want to play the piano again.
Yeah.
I want to paint. I want to do stuff that we can't do in the van because it's not practical to do. And that's all fine. I have to make the sacrifices to get that back, but that's the kind of bigger thing for us, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm trying to get you in the camera. Every time I'm moving, you keep walking behind it or the way I'm holding it. Stephen is talking, by the way. He's there. So yeah, it's a very good point. We've said this before, but there's things we want to do in the van that we absolutely cannot do. Lots of different projects we want to take on, sort of just nothing like life-changing, but things that we really want to involve ourselves in, different craft things. You've got your piano, you want that back, you know. He's got a keyboard. It's one of our only possessions, by the way. We never had an actual piano, although you do want one. You do have a keyboard. It's one of the only things he kept, and it's with a family member. So yeah, there's just different things we want to go back to that no bigger van will ever allow us to do. Anyway, look, we digress. We're talking crap now. I don't know what we're going on about.
Come on then, let's go.
Let's go back, because we've got to go to East Cowes now, and we do have to get our ferry later.
Aye.
Let's go. Right, off we go, driver.
Aye.
By the way, Godshill, free parking. Very grateful for that.
Yeah.
So not all expensive on the Isle of Wight. We have found a couple of free spots, and the fact that they don't charge you in this actual village is really nice.
I think there's quite a few reasonable places to stay. I think in the summer it'll be very different, but
Yeah.
it's been alright really.
No, it's been really nice, and I do feel like I'm going to miss this place. We haven't been here that long, but it's like it feels like we've barely scraped the surface. There was a lot more here than I thought. I love the fact that there's so much not wildlife, but countryside. Like, it's just, there's little individual towns, plenty of those, but then plenty is still given over to countryside as well. And so many coastal beauty spots. Well, it's gorgeous, Steve. It's gorgeous. Right, let's go.
Come on then.
So we have come to East Cowes and we are waiting for our ferry, but we're in a bit of a predicament really, aren't we? We were kind of hoping there'd be stuff to film here for a little bit, but it seems like the majority of the stuff is in West Cowes, isn't it? And you have to get a little foot passenger ferry, which doesn't take long, but we've only got like an hour and a half. I just don't think it's worth the risk of getting stuck.
There's no timetable.
There was no timetable. It just said when it started and ended. It didn't say how often. So we're not going to do that. We're going to walk around East Cowes, but a quick look, like there isn't. It's very small, isn't it?
It looks like this is just the practical stuff this side, the pretty stuff the other side.
Maybe. It's definitely just a port area. But we are going to go down to the marina. There seems to be a marina of some sort round the corner. Have a look. And just wander around, try and get rid of like a couple of calories of this cake from earlier. I don't know. It's probably not the most exciting way to finish the Isle of Wight, but we can't predict these things.
Yeah.
I do know I'd like to come back here though, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I think it's quite nice actually. It's definitely worth a visit.
Yeah. If it wasn't for the ferry, and obviously that's about 70 something quid one way, then it's the sort of place we'd probably return to semi-regularly, I imagine.
Yeah.
But because of the ferry, we're not likely to.
If you get like a really early morning ferry or a late night ferry, then you can get it for about 55 quid, but it's still quite a lot.
I've enjoyed it though. The Isle of Wight has surprised me. I think it surprised us both, hasn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
I still feel full up, do you?
Oh, I keep thinking about fish
Oh
and chips.
no. You want fish and chips now? We only ate a couple of hours ago.
I keep thinking about chips with salt.
Oh God, don't. All right, let's do it.
Cod
I want to do it now.
Squeezed over it with tartar sauce.
Oh.
And some beans and mushy
No,
peas.
that's fine. I can make room for that immediately. Suddenly I'm hungry.
Aye.
God damn you, Steve. So this stretch of water here, I think it's the River Medina, and you can follow that all the way down to Newport, which is another town here, and I think you can follow it all the way down one side and come back up the other side, which would take you of course to West Cowes, which is that side, and of course you can get the foot passenger ferry over to there, but we just haven't got time today. So I think the bigger place is over the water, and out there of course further out is where we go back to Southampton. While we're walking around killing time till we get the ferry, fun little fact, Queen Victoria actually lived here on the Isle of Wight in East Cowes with her husband Albert for over 50 years apparently in this house, Osborne House. We're a bit late to go to it, plus we haven't got English heritage anymore, and obviously we've got to get our ferry, so it's not possible, but yeah, she lived here. So that's interesting. I think she had a private home here, that rather modest looking building, as a way to escape the public life that she had elsewhere as a royal, as a queen, and this was her private home. Maybe we'll move into that. I can have one side, Steve can have the other. See each other once a week. Well, we're at the ferry port, we're trying to kill time, we just went in, bought a coffee, sitting here, waiting for it to get dark. I don't think the boat's even here yet, is it?
No.
We've been here quite a while now, and these cars have been here before us. It's supposed to leave in less than half an hour.
I know.
Mind you, they're small boats, they don't take long to load and unload. And then we're going to get back, we're just trying to figure out where to stay. When we get back, we're not sure. It'll be dark. We've got fish and chips on the brain, but I'm not sure it's going to happen or not. Well, cliffhanger alert, where will we end up? Who can say? There's actually something quite terrifying about being out here at night. That dark water, dark cold water just beneath us.
Yeah, we're nearly there really.
We are nearly there. Yeah, it's a little bit uneasy being on a ferry when it's dark like this. But kind of exciting as well, because I don't think I've ever been on a ferry in the dark.
No.
You can film a little bit now because the lights have come on downstairs, so you can actually see something. Good morning. Just starting off punching the husband. It's just what you do, isn't it, sometimes?
You do.
Well, it is a Wednesday. Oh no, it's Thursday. Oh, I should have done it yesterday. Well, good morning. We are back on the mainland of the UK. I bloody love the Isle of Wight, didn't you?
Yeah, it's nice.
Really nice.
It's worth a visit.
Definitely. There's a lot more there than it seems. I think we would like to go back at some point. I'd just like to point out, in quick, typical Daniel style, that these videos on the Isle of Wight, and well, the last few, they haven't been filmed over weeks. They've been filmed over a series of like, well, a few days really, haven't they? Because we haven't been there as long as it seems. But we've explained this before, like when we go to work, we have got some to stack up, but also because there's so much to see, isn't there? So it didn't feel forced, did it, or anything like that? It was kind of like we've seen something, and then it kind of ends, and then it's like, you know, you don't want to just cram it all into one video. Apart from anything else, that's a pain in the ass to put together and edit. So yeah, we kind of filmed one after the other really. Anyway, we're back on the mainland. We got back safely, didn't we? All good. We stayed in Winchester last night. The Park and Walk. It's called a Park and Walk.
The car park.
So it's a car park. Because obviously the town's around the corner, so you can just walk to it.
And that's it.
Yeah, that is it. Was there anything else to add?
I don't think so.
I think we've got to go back now and get our brake thing fixed. We've got a few people to see. We've got some work coming up. But when you next see us after this video, I think we're still going to do a bit of travelling before that set of work. I'm not sure how it's going to work out. So there'll probably be a jump in time, but you might not even notice it.
No. But with that, we're going to end the video now.
We are.
So please push your like button. Very important to push your like button. Subscribe if you like the channel, and push the notification bell if you want to be notified next time we put a video out.
Yep, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.